Hello everyone, this is Pete Avon, Solution Architect at ScyllaDB, here talking about moving DynamoDB workloads to Scylla. And today we're going to get started with using the AWS CLI and NoSQL Workbench with that cluster we created in the previous video. Let's get into it. Now you can download the AWS CLI for free, and this is just to show you that. I'll put these links at the end of the presentation. Now when you interact with essentially Scylla with the Dynamo compatible API, it's either through the command line or through code. For some people, they want a visualization tool, and for that there's NoSQL Workbench, right? So when you're getting the CLI, also download NoSQL Workbench, and these are both very, very simple to install. Once you're installed, though, you're good to go. Okay, so here's a simple example of using the AWS CLI to describe a table that's in our Scylla cluster using the Dynamo API. Yes, I'm on Windows. I'm using Windows with the AWS CLI to connect to a Scylla cluster on GCP to run Dynamo commands, to basically evaluate Dynamo commands. It's a wonderful connected world we live in. Things to note, there's all sorts of documentation on using the AWS CLI. I created a table, I inserted some records. If you're on Windows, if you have, continuing the lines, the backslashes become quotes, single quotes become double quotes. Other than that, it's the same, other than that syntactic difference, it's the same commands. And so here we can run this, and we see we've got song titles, artist, album title, but that's our table. We're connected. All right, but let's take a look. A lot of times, yes, you can connect to the CLI or with code, but people want a visualization tool, and for that we use NoSQL Workbench, something more of an IDE type flavor to be able to connect. And so when you launch it, it's going to look like this. If you want to connect to a Scylla or to an existing Dynamo cluster, you go to Operation Builder. This is where you can make your connections. Now we've got a connection, but I want to show you how to create your own. Click Add Connection, and then you'll see all the information you need to provide if you're connecting to Dynamo. But if you want to connect to Scylla, go to Dynamo Local and give it my Dynamo workload. And Scylla, right? Now the host name, we're just going to change the host name to what was in our Connect tab here, one of the nodes, right? So we'll put that here, grab our connection string, and we'll connect. We've created a connection. And now I can open my Dynamo workload in Scylla, and on the left here I see all the tables that have been created because mine wasn't the only table in there, but I can look at my music collection. When I click that, I see all the records. Essentially, we've got some different things in there, but if I wanted to search my attribute name, I want to search by artist. The string, I want where the artist equals Scylla. And boom, we got our record for Scylla, Alternator Rock, with the album Monstrously Fast. And it's that simple. Thank you all. That concludes our whirlwind introduction into moving DynamoDB workloads to ScyllaDB, getting familiar with the AWS CLI and NoSQL Workbench and how we connect those to ScyllaDB as well. If you want to learn more, go to ScyllaDB.com. Of course, if you want to get started with your own ScyllaDB cluster, you can go cloud.ScyllaDB.com and get started today. Take care.